So there's very specific data measures that have been established that we'll be reporting on in the next month.
I wanna talk about that Narcan machine though real quick, because from the counties I've talked to that did that, it's just a machine you walk up to it.
Yeah,
you
people
punch a
steal
button.
and sell.
They're getting them all out and then selling
Yeah.
them, and,
I'm saying like in a,
I'm not sure that's even an approved strategy with opioid funds.
right,
Right. I'm
it
saying-
may not be.
what I'm saying, put it in a regulated area, like, you know, at the jail, they walk in
Jail
there.
courthouse.
I came back to North Carolina from Florida, and Florida issues it to the fire stations. So they just go to the fire station and request it.
When I
Well, we
looked
do-
at,
we
So
already
we're
do that,
asking
right?
to fund three
Fire
people's
station's already-
attendance?
That's my understanding, I'm not aware of other people, but the
Well, I
three.
have a question
I-
about, I have a question about that.
Yes, sir.
So you want us to fund more people to go down there, but you know, and I'm gonna tell you, I know people that's got their doctorate, they've got master's degrees right off the line. Could y'all not do this right off the line? And save the hardworking tax people a lot of money?
Not this type, this is where you break into
Why?
discussion group well, because the conference itself is on tracks. Each track, I don't know if conferences you've been to, you break out into a working group, they give you a project, everybody meets face-to-face about, well, here's what we do in our county, your county, this county, why do we think of this, it's not even a
I
classroom.
have meetings all the time online.
I understand, but
where
it's
you got
group
20, 30
sessions.
people in there.
These
I
are
mean, I'm
pretty
just saying,
valuable.
it seems like to me, and I'm gonna be
Well,
upfront with you.
we do a lot
Seems like to me it's
online.
a waste of money. I think y'all just want a vacation is what it is.
Well, that's-
Now, let's just say it like it is. I mean, that's what I see. Y'all just want a vacation.
Well, let me
Look
tell
up.
you what they do.
Well, that's what I see.
Okay. With the track itself, it may be this row right here has a problem for people. This row, it's breakout sessions on what to do to look on a national scale of how to run these sports, because it is different everywhere.
When people,
But we
when
do
people
online
pay
training as
taxes,
well.
they don't wanna pay for vacations, when y'all can do stuff
I love a
offline.
vacation.
Well, just to be fair about that, this is
Yeah.
not taxpayer money.
Right.
So,
So-
It's all taxpayers'
So
money.
I-
It may not be Scotland County
it's
taxpayers'
not,
money.
No, it's not. It's not.
this is opioid settlement.
So we're talking about three people, Judge Wilson,
Yes, sir, myself,
this gentleman, and you?
yes, sir.
Well, my scholarship came from AOC, so these funds are not going towards my travel and lodging.
Okay, so
Oh,
we're
I'm
I've
sorry.
already paid
It
for
is
it.
the DSS attorney, Brandy Bullock, that's right, she's involved because DSS has to refer the people to us who they think qualify. So there's also a DSS attorney track as well. So it's the attorney and then myself and judge. Yes, sir.
And again, this is.
And is
just a-
DSS gonna fund their person's attendance, or are they gonna try to fund it
I
out of?
think if you all are also gonna see more people, it needs to come out of opioid funds. We don't have the travel money out of the county budget.
I don't
I'm not
see a
aware.
need for more than what they're talking about.
I was
mean,
unaware that more people wanted to
and
go.
again, I go back to.
I'll
when
tell you what,
started.
I would support, I mean, just in dialogue, I would support three people attending that you've designated, but, after that, it's a different conversation.
Yeah, coming
I don't
out,
know about it,
coming from the opioid money that we've already budgeted.
Yeah, I think so.
That's why
But
I
I'll tell you,
started that with this.
I'm with
slide.
April, our next conversations need to be data-driven, and what's going on, what's the impact we're making,
Yes, sir.
and what do we need to do to move this forward, because we are the #1 county in the state for ER visits for opioid overdose. That's an honor we hold,
Well, it's-
and that's a problem we need to work on.
It's very sad, the DSS calendar will have a child and they'll say parent deceased. I mean, that's sad, we're dealing with a child trying to find a home, a relative or something. At least on every calendar, there's 2 deceased parents from opioids, from,
So we know the problem's
Yes,
real,
sir.
so we just, and it's a tough nut to crack. So if this helps, you know, let's let 3 people go, but I hear what Bo's saying, I think the boondoggle effect, you know, would as many people go if this was being held in, you know, western Pennsylvania, you know, instead of Florida, right?
we
So-
go to the nationals if we can. Now, we do online just to address that. We did that a couple of weeks ago with the lady talking about incentives and all, and she was from Winston-Salem maybe?
Yeah.
So we do that this weekend as well.
Yeah, that's okay, I just, again, I think what he's saying is just, we're gonna make some really tough decisions about a lot of stuff,
Yes, sir.
so.
Well, it may help
Do
if we
you
bring
need
back.
3 people to go?
We do. The judge, DSS, and me are the main tracks. His court coordination is the other track, and that's separate from the budget, but he finds resources in his role. So there's individual tracks within this conference. It's not like we all go to a room and listen and gab and talk. We have specific assignments.
I'd
We
like
could
to
come
make,
back and we could
And
tell
you can't do
about
that, none of it offline.
Not for this conference, no, sir.
Yeah,
Other
because
ones
it-
are, but not this one.
Is there enough money allocated?
There's 20,000, so yeah.
That's enough to send.
I'll answer.
it.
So you have opioid funds.
Right.
Okay? Of course, when they end, they're gonna end. And that's years out, but they're gonna end. So, and I also think about this from the perspective of our county staff can't go to these. As Mr. O'Neill just said, we're fixing to make some very tough funding decisions. We're gonna start cutting things, telling people they can't get things, and so our county staff can't go to these national conferences. And so I take a step back and look at the full picture. I also look at, the opioid funds will run out. They will run out at some point. And at that point, if we have a really strong program going, we won't want it to stop just because we don't have opioid funds. The county's gonna be asked to fund it. So we need to stretch those dollars as long as we can stretch them.
And other grants, if we have all 3 counties operating within our district, then we'll pull in perhaps some other state money, some other things.
Cost share.
We have to get this program up and running for about a year, provide the stats, provide the outcomes, give y'all updates whenever you'd like. I'll come back after the conference and tell you what we learned. I'll give you numbers. But right now, we do have the 6, plan on having 10 to 15. That's kind of our limits.
I'd make a motion that we approve 3 people, yourself, Chief Wilson, I'm sorry, Judge Wilson,
Ms. Bullock.
and the attorney from DSS, but we approve their travel and attendance to this conference,
Coming from the opioid.
coming from the
this
opioid
budget.
funds.
And I'm a numbers person. How do we do that? So who do we submit?
Well, wait,
formal-
unless we need to get it approved.
Oh, I know, but I just procedurally when I leave here, I
Do
don't.
we,
They'll get with you, but we have a motion on the
I
floor.
second.
And you second that. Any other questions, discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
No,
No.
Okay? Did you get that, Dorothy?
Yes, sir.
Who's who? Okay. So the
okay,
motion carries. All right, so
Thank
your question would be a.
We're not
a
used to
practical
dealing,
one.
the only numbers I deal with are
It's-
sentencing numbers. So I can tell you where someone isn't trying to.
Travis and Ms. McCray will work that process out as far as how you get the stuff booked. You're gonna have a P card and all that stuff to do that. And it'll
Hey,
go through our
personally, I
finance
would
office.
like to
It'll
hear
go through
from
our
you in the
finance office.
future.
Absolutely.
I
Y'all are welcome
think
to
this
come,
is-
as he said, May 9th, it's every 2 weeks, but we can come back at the next meeting and tell you conference and
Or that
participate.
opioid collaborative meeting. You know,
That's fine.
they usually
Yeah,
give
we'd
a lot-
love to hear what you're
How
doing.
many you
Absolutely.
served? How many?
Absolutely.
They usually give a lot of numbers.
And some of our participants, one lady did falter a little bit and she had to write something about Suboxone and her own personal non-prescription use, and she presented that to us. We said, there might be a place where you have to present your presentation somewhere else. We might bring her here and let her tell you her experience if that's okay.
Thank you.
So,
Okay,
thank you
thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
All right,
What do you think for this? Like
Well,
next
I'm
year?
gonna make a little change
Ms.
to the
Tyson has already
agenda,
sent
if
that
nobody
out,
objects.
asking for your budget.
I'm gonna move Robert Sampson up to next,
That's right.
just so he doesn't, wait.
I mean, I'll
Just
push it, you want me to?
so he doesn't have to wait to go through this arduous process we're about to do.
Thank you.
You're free, welcome to stay to that, but before we do that, let's take about a 10-minute break. 10-minute recess, and we'll start back in 10 minutes to 11. Okay, but we'll start with you. Right. The money we got is